Tim Sorensen. We're going to take an in-depth look at an amazing new music creation tool, the Tech in Mind Electronics AGP-1. Some of the key features of the AGP-1 include its all-analog signal path, including a true bypass output, so you get a great sound from the analog signal path, but the real power in the unit comes from the fact that everything else is digitally controlled. The analog signal path can include up to 12 individual sound modules, 10 which are user selectable, and 2 which are built into the unit, the amp simulator and the EQ. Additionally, you can arrange those 10 modules any way you want, just like on a pedal board. There's a switchable external effects loop, so if you have a pedal you just love, you can use that with the AGP-1. There's a built-in tuner, a built-in metronome, and a mixer function. The mixer allows you to take a stereo input of some external source like a computer or an MP3 player, and you can use that for private practicing at home, mixing the external source with the guitar input, or you can use those pre-recorded tracks as part of your live performance and mix it right there in front of you on the AGP-1. The unit has a flexible power scheme, but you can also use a one-spot-like device, so if you have multiple pedals on a pedal board, you can use that daisy chain to power the AGP-1 also. Kind of a standard feature that most multi-effects have is a patch mode. So if I select foot switch 1 when I'm in patch mode, I can select any of the modules that are inside to be turned on or turned off, and I can control their settings as I please. So I can have, say, compression and some delay in the first patch number. I could have some overdrive and delay controlled by foot switch 2. I can have a heavier overdrive and some different delay sound in foot switch 3, whatever your heart desires. One of the great things that the AGP-1 also has is a pedal mode. When you switch into pedal mode, each individual foot switch becomes its own pedal, just like on a pedal board. Let's take a look at pedal mode. If I select Bank 4 Patch 1, I have that set up to turn on just overdrive. If I hit foot switches 2 and 3 together, the AGP-1 turns into a 5-pedal pedal board, where I have foot switch 1 turning on and off compression, foot switch 2 turning on and off overdrive, foot switch 3 turning on and off chorus, etc. I can arrange it any way I want, and I can tell the AGP exactly which modules and at exactly which settings I want. To get back out of pedal mode, I just hit foot switches 2 and 3 together, and it takes me right back to Bank 4, patch number 1. All of this analog sonic power is controlled by these 4 buttons, which are both push buttons and rotary controls. Let's build a patch and see how it works. First, I'll select a patch that has nothing in it or one that I want to modify. I push parameter 4 for setup. And now what I can do is I can push parameter 3, and that will scroll through the different sound modules. So let's say I want to have distortion in this and maybe a little delay. So I'll push parameter 3 and I'll scroll through until it says distortion off. I can then rotate parameter 3, turns distortion on, rotate it one more time, and I can turn it to setup. So I can control bass, mid shift, high, gain, and volume. So I can set those for however I want. Let's create a patch. Instead of starting from scratch this time, let me just copy a patch that I have and then modify it from there. So first, when there's no foot switches lit up, let me push parameter 4. That takes me to the patch copy function. And I know that I want to copy from Bank 1 Patch 4 to an empty patch that I have, which happens to be Bank 3 Patch 3. Run the patch copy. Are you sure? Yes, patch has been copied. And I'll just hit parameter 3 to exit that. Let me bank up to where I copied my patch and select 3-3, and this is what it sounds like right now. A little distortion and some delay. Now suppose I want to add to that instead of delay. Let's take the delay off and let's add some flange instead. So the first thing I would do, hit parameter 4. That puts me into edit mode. Parameter 3 button, if I push that, it will cycle through the different modules inside the unit. So let me cycle over to delay, rotate parameter 3, turn the delay off. So right now, same distortion sound, no delay. So with the delay off, I'll push parameter 3 button again until I get to flanger, and then just rotate parameter 3, turn the flanger on. Let's see how it sounds now. Got the right kind of warble for me, so now all I need to do is push parameter 4, and it's now saved to bank 3 patch 3. If I want to rename the patch before exiting with parameter 4, hit parameter 2, rename the patch, and then exit. That's probably enough about the guts. Let's see how it sounds. Here's some analog delay. Here's a little overdrive with a little bit of delay. Here's some distortion with a little bit of chorus and delay. Here's a clean setting with a little delay set almost like a room reverb for a little jazzy sound. Let's see what the AGP-1 sounds like direct. I have the amp simulator turned on, and I have the mixer turned on because I have an MP3 player. It's just going to play a simple blues progression. I'm going to start out with a clean sound with a little delay on patch 1. About halfway through, I'll switch to patch 2, which is a little bit of a overdriven sound. See how it sounds. For more information, visit Tech & Mind Electronics website for sound samples and a user manual. There's many multi-effects out there, but there's only one that's all analog, the AGP-1. Do yourself a favor and check it out.